prestigious conference hosted by Department of Development Studies and Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. Vivekananda Global University Jaipur in collaboration with International Council for Education, Research and Training. This conference brings together leaders, educators, and researchers from India, South Korea, USA, Nigeria, Malaysia, and more, united in our pursuit of academic excellence and global collaboration. Today's session brings together brilliant minds from across the globe, presenting diverse and impactful interdisciplinary research exploring literature, ethics, sustainability, and social change across cultural and global contexts. It is a great pleasure to host this dynamic and enriching session under the chairpersonship of Dr. Neha Bhartiya, Assistant Professor, MIT School of Liberal Arts, Rajasthan. Dr. Neha Bhartiya is an accomplished academic with a PhD in political science from the University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, specializing in the interplay between religion and politics in India. She also holds MPhil, NAT-GRF, and SLET qualifications. Currently an assistant professor at MIT University, Rajasthan. She brings 7 years of teaching experience and previously served at Modi University of Science and Technology. Dr. Bhartiya has published 10 research papers in reputed journals and edited the book Rights, Contemporary Debates. As a dedicated mentor, she has supervised numerous dissertations and currently guides PhD scholars. She is an active member of the Indian Political Science Association and serves on key academic bodies at MIT University, including boards of studies, Industrial Academic Council, IQSC, and the Proctoral Board. Now, I would like Dr. Neha to share her thoughts. Welcome, ma'am. It is our honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhanupriya, for what I can say, a very, very overwhelming introduction. Am I audible to you? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. First of all, I would like to extend my thank you and heartfelt gratitude to the organizers of this conference on navigating complexity, fostering holistic development and environmental sustainability, a multidisciplinary approach to 21st century challenges. Organized by Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, in association with International Council for Education, Research and Teaching. Thank you very much for asking me to come here and host this session. Thank you so much to the organizers, and special thank you to Dr. Harshita and Dr. Leher Asrani for contacting me and asking me to chair the session. Moving forward, I would like to address the particular topic of the theme that we are that we have gathered together here. Just days before, after this World Environment Day, and we are reminded that our responsibility towards the planet has never been more urgent. So this 21st century confronts us with interlinking challenges like climate change, resource depletion, social inequality, and rapid urbanization. So these problems are not isolated problems. They all are integrated problems, and they require an integrated cross-disciplinary solutions that could bring together science, policy, economics, and human values together. So the theme for today's discussion, the theme for this conference is very apt, and it also asks us to rethink the progress, not in the terms of economics or GDP, what we say, but in terms of sustainability, inclusivity, and resilience. So from climate smart agriculture and renewable energy transitions to indigenous knowledge systems and sustainable urban development and planning, we must embrace diverse pathways that could lead to a balanced coexistence with the nature. As we know that that our honorable Prime Minister and the Indian system has rightly started promoting the Indian knowledge system, IKS, widely expressed and known as IKS. So we should try to find these solutions of these problems that we are facing today, nowadays in the 20th century, that we could find a sustainable solutions in our knowledge system that we have with us with thousands of centuries. So in order to find out this 21st century challenges and the environmental complexities, we can what we are witnessing right now here is climate change and rising global temperature, one of the major problems that we are facing nowadays, and loss of biodiversities and natural habitats, pollution which goes beyond air, water, and soil, and unprecedented levels, unsustainable resource consumption. This is a very difficult and problematic area that we bear today, unsustainable resource consumption, that we need to shift from unsustainability to sustainable resource consumptions. So what could be the basic solutions for these problems that we are facing towards? So what, in my brief experience that I could have jotted down in some points, we can say that a shift from renewable energy and low carbon technologies, we should try to shift to renewable energy resources and low carbon technologies, and strengthening climate resilient agriculture and food systems, investigating green infrastructure and sustainable cities, empowering communities and indigenous knowledge system, and ensuring environmental justice for the most vulnerable populations. So here we could go through all these things, and I think we can make a shift in our livelihood and day-to-day activities that we do. So we could more shift to a sustainable, environmental friendly lifestyle, and we could provide and preserve certain resources for the future generations to come in. So I believe that our session today will provide us food for thought and give us certain more insights over the sustainability and how we can go with how we can have a solution for the 21st century problems that we are facing today. So my best wishes to all the presenters who have come here and present with us in the online session. So I think we can move on with the presentations of the papers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before starting with the presentation, to ensure smooth and professional experience for all, please carefully note the following guidelines I would like to. Also, yes, each presenter is allotted 5 to 6 minutes for their presentation, followed by 2 to 3 minutes for question answers. Please respect the time limit to allow everyone an equal opportunity to present. Keep your microphone muted when not speaking. Kindly switch on your camera while presenting if possible. Keep your presentations ready to be shared. Present your screen when your turn comes. Ma'am, please note that at the end of our presentations, we will be announcing two best paper presenters. So kindly evaluate accordingly.
Sure.
Yes. And now I would like to invite Ms. Shalu Mohan to present their paper titled Transcending the Familial Barriers of Reclaiming Identities, a study of women characters in Namita Gokhale's Gods, Graves, and Grandmother. Yes, Ms. Shalu Mohan, ma'am, you can start your presentation now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Let me share my screen first.
Okay.
Only the host can share in this meeting. So I'm not able to share my screen.
And we will look into this technical issue, but you can start your presentation without the PPT.
Okay, okay then.
Yes, now.
Hello, good morning to everyone. This is Shalu Mohan, a research scholar from OSGU University. Today, my presentation topic is Transcending the Familial Barriers for Reclaiming Identities, a study of women characters in Namita Gokhale's Goat Graves and Grandmother. This research explores the theme of identity reclaiming through the lens of familial and societal constraints in Namita Gokhale's novel God Graves and Grandmothers. The narrative centers around women who navigate a patriarchal and often indifferent social structure that seeks to define them by traditional roles and expectations. By focusing on the protagonist, Ammi, Gudiya, and the other key female characters, the study examines how these women resist the limitation imposed by family, class, and culture norms in their journey towards self realization and autonomy. Na- Namita Gokhale portrays the act of reclaiming identity as a deeply personal process, intervened with resistance, resilience, and the redefinition of womanhood. Drawing upon feminist literary theory, this argues that Gokhale's characters transcending the confinement of their inherited identities to assert individual agency and voice. The analysis of ultimately highlights how God Graves and Grandmother serves as a nuanced contemporary or on Indian female empowerment and the ongoing struggle for selfhood in contemporary Indian society. In this intricate fabric of Indian society, the family occupies a central and the reversed position, often perceived as a primary unit of cultural transmission, moral guidance, and emotional security. Let me discuss the key features of these familial barriers. First is social framework. Familial barriers emerged as a powerful forces that enforce obedience, uphold traditional gender roles, and prioritize the collective reputation of the family, especially through the control of female behavior. Second is reclaiming identity. In the context refers to a women's struggle to assert her own voice, agency, and selfhood interference of these inherited limitations. Third is the division of labor. The division of labor between men and women is not voluntarily, but it is a stereotypical one. These barriers can manifest as expectation to conform to domestic duties, early marriages, limited access to education, silence of personal desires, and the denial of individuality. It involves challenging and norms, rejecting roles imposed by family and society, and forging a part of self definition. Generally, the families are governed by patriarchal setup where man is the dominated position and women is subjugated. These images have served nothing but to put barriers in the progress of women in their material, emotional, and spiritual growth and progress. Uh, Here, the this presentation is on Namita Gokhale's God Graves and Grandmother present a powerful narrative of women navigating and transcending the deeply enriched familial and societal structure of patriarchal Indian society. Instead, they crave out space of autonomy and assert their voices in environments that consistently seek to silence them. Their lives serve as testimony to the fact that reclaiming identity is not a singular act of rebellion, but an ongoing process of self definition, negotiation, and empowerment. Uh, Nammi has a strong willpower. One of the characters in Godgraves and Grandmother, Ami and Gudiya, the novel examines the complex journey of these women who refuse to be confined by traditional expectation, roles, and relationships. Ami has a strong willpower and determination to challenge the harsh situation. She is with intellectual comforts the makeshift into a commercial establishment. She goes on the fight and remove every obstacle which comes in her way. Throughout her life, she occupies dominant position, transcending the familial, societal, and traditional barriers. Even after her death, she remains the influential character and medium of survival for many other members. Even after her death, he is celebrated as Mahasamadhi, as a status of her is acted in the temple. Both characters defy the patriarchal script that assigns women subordinate, dependent role within the family and society. Instead, they carve out space of autonomy and assert their voices in environments that consistently seek to silence them. Their lives serve as testimony to the fact that reclaiming identity is not a singular act of rebellion. In portraying these journeys, Gokhale not only critiques the limits of familial and cultural expectation placed upon women, but also celebrates the transformative power of female agency. Characters' lives serve as testimony to the fact that reclaiming identity is not a singular one. It is a contractual and negotiation as empowerment. Thank you. Thank you for listening me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank
I would
you,
like
Miss.
to, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Mohan. You have presented a paper on this transcending the familial barriers for reclaiming identities, a study of women characters in Namita Gokhale's God, Graves, and Grandmother. So, first thing that I would like to ask to you is this novel or literature that has been written by Namita Gokhale.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
is that a generational study?
Yes, ma'am. The three generational gaps, three characters, grandmother and her daughter and her granddaughter.
Okay.
Generational studies of a women characters involved in this
What are the
novel.
key findings of your paper?
Key finding:
Yes.
societal, patriarchal society, cultural discrimination, family subordination, resistance, and identity, autonomy of identity.
So these are the basic topics that has been addressed in this particular literature
Yes, ma'am.
written by Namita Gokhale. But when you are
Yes, ma'am.
writing this paper and you are saying that transcending the familial barriers for reclaiming identities, what was
Yeah.
your key findings after writing this paper or studying this literature? What you could have find out the major 2-3 findings that you can state.
Just to portray the cultural expectation placed on the women, which they subjugated throughout their life, and they transcend those barriers and crave out their autonomy and assert their autonomy in a new environment.
Okay, is there any, do you find any key resemblance between Namita Gokhale's portrayal of women and the way she is transcending and reclaiming her identities with the another women writer that I may quote, that is Sylvia Wasby, who talks about patriarchy and its major signs. Do you find any relationship between these two things? Can you quote
With the Sylvia Plath?
Sylvia Wasby? Have you?
No, ma'am.
No. Oh, fine. Thank you. Thank you, Mashal.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I would like to say that it is as wide advice. Sorry. It is advised to summarize your presentation in 5 to 6 minutes and question answer to 2 to 3 minutes. Next, we have Dr. Shweta J.C. Brinda to present their paper titled Literature as a Path to Spiritual Awakening, Insights from Indian Scriptures, Saints, and Sacred Poetry. Yes, Dr. Shweta, you can present your paper now.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Is my presentation visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shweta JC from Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence from the Department of Physical and Chemical Science, here to present my paper on literature as a tool for spiritual awakening, insights from Indian scriptures, saints, and sacred poetry. In our culture, it is said that literature is not merely written words, it is Shabda Brahman, the divine made manifest through sounds and language. So, through scriptures, songs, and verses, Indian literature transmit eternal wisdom across generation. Just now, ma'am was telling that this 21st century, whatever the problem we are facing, it doesn't need just solution. It is like a solution which needs sustainable solution, which is integrated and cross disciplinary solution, not in terms of GDP, rather in terms of sustainable solution. That's what ma'am was telling. I'm sure it is acceptable thing that literature is the one such tool which helps for this one. If we so let us see what is this how this literature, that to Indian scriptures, how it is going to help us for the spiritual awakening, because spiritual awakening is one such aspect in the human beings which makes us different to stand apart from all the creatures in the on the earth. So how this spiritual awakening can happen? Yes, it is because of the rich and vast scriptures, whatever we have. So it may be Ayurveda, and it is said that Ayurveda, Jyotisha, anything, Gandharva, music, everything is originated from Veda. In our literature, it is said. And you take Mahabharata, ethics, politics, which includes strategies, psychology, and spiritual teaching, and the Bhagavad Gita, which emerged on the battlefield, which it always serves as a tool for help, and it is a guide for this whatever the problem we face in day-to-day life. And if you take Natya Shastra, which Natya Shastra of Bharatamuni, is a literary scripture that becomes the foundation of theater, dance, and music, and which even it is relevant and it is used nowadays, even today. And literature preserves and transmits all the culture. Without literature, there is no preservation of values and stories or civilization. The Ramayana is not just story, is the manual of, it is a righteousness, Maryada, all the and ideal living. The Gita is not just philosophy, it is the heart of Indian identity and spirituality. The teachings of saints like Tulsidas, Kabir, Andal, Abhyar, and different saints and sages, which is even relevant today, they are all the guiding tools. And it is because of which many of us are getting inspiration, and they are the solutions for many of the problems. Because by reading all these scriptures, one get idea how to deal with the problem and how to cope up in the life in spite of being amidst the problem. It is said that what you read, what you become. Whatever we read, it will help us to think. Whatever, always our mind is involved in constant thinking. How this constant thought will come? It is because of the association what we have. So if our association is with the literature, the thoughts will also will be affected, and similar and pure thoughts also will come, because of which our personality also will develop. And here we can remember how Mahatma Gandhi was influenced by Satya Harishchandra. Just by reading the story of Satya Harishchandra, his entire how his entire life changed, and how he became role model even to the millions of people now we can see. And even in the during the freedom movement, from Bankim Chandra Chatterjee to Vande Mataram to Tagore's Geetanjali, or Vivekananda's life stories, like this, several stories, even which stands as a relevant sources for youths or for generation together. And as I said in the beginning, it is called a Shabda Brahman. It is a manifestation of literature, is manifestation of the divine itself. It may be Upanishad, the instruction of Gita, dialogue between guru and disciples, or insights from saints, seers, mystics, or even the meditation practices of yoga, philosophy, and devotional rituals are transmitted through text. And hence, we can say, without literature, there is no spiritual path. Now, in the Upanishad, there comes a story of Shvetaketu, who studied more than 12 years in Guru's ashram, and he came back home. And by seeing his prideness, his father asked him question, have you studied everything? Yes, I have studied. I have gained all the knowledge, he asked. Then his father asked one question, have you studied that thing? After which you need not study anything. Have you gained that knowledge? After gaining that, you need not gain any other knowledge. This is where he was confused, and he thought to he was like kind of astonished and surprised. What is that? Then after studying, after knowing it, everything can be known. So these are the provoking thoughts with this Upanishad and the dialogues between guru and disciples, which we can see on all this literature, and which serves as again as a guiding tools. And we often being in this teaching profession, we see how students always come with studying. After they also will go through some textbook, and they will come with their ideas. Says, this is what I have studied, and before studying this book, this is what my thought, and after studying, this is what I have understood, and this is what I have implemented, and this is how it helped me to transform myself. And literature is the first and final authority. In Viveka Chudamani, it is said that Shastrasya Guruvakyasya
Excuse me, ma'am, can you please conclude?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So that means whatever is there in the literature, first we have to believe that it is correct. Only then we can develop Shraddha. So literature is not part of this culture. It is the womb of the culture and the source of all the civilization. And the Indian spiritual tradition is very part to the absolute. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. Ma'am, Neha ma'am, you can ask questions.
Thank you, Shweta. Your title is "The Literature as a Path to Spiritual Awakening."
Yes.
One thing I would like to ask is that apart from literature or with Vedas or the other things that has been written down in our history,
Yes.
we do also have certain other sources like sutras and smritis and the other shrutis, which
Yes.
are not written, okay?
Yes.
Which are
Yes.
not written, but they also used to transmit the knowledge that we have, the ancient wisdom, the
Yes.
kind of spiritual awakening that that you are talking today. So
Yes.
it is not only the literature, it is also the shrutis. That shruti means that you are orating, that you are speaking, and other person is listening to it. That is shruti, basically, which is not written down somewhere else. Okay, so I think you have not taken up that perspective in your particular paper. So that's a suggestion. If you could also include that in your paper, that will make your paper more holistic and comprehensive.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Apart from that, you have said that you have got insights from Indian scripture, saints, and sacred poetry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you name down certain sacred poetries that you have included in your paper?
Mainly Upanishads, ma'am. Even though there are
Okay.
more than 110 Upanishads, major Upanishads are considered as 10. Isha Kena Kata Krishna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya Upanishad, and Chandogya and Bruhadaranyaka. These are the Upanishads from which, and Bhagavad Gita, and folk songs like Vachanas. We call it as Vachanas.
Vachanas. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Now, the next is our paper titled She Was Never Asked. She was never asked. Female sexuality, ownership, and resistance in South Asian narratives from the Mahabharata to Manto. Miss Anita Atre, you can present your paper now.
Hello everyone. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Anisha Atre, not Anita Atre. I'll correct you. Um, my topic, please excuse me for a second. I'll just, yes. My topic is She Was Never Asked, Female Sexuality, Ownership and Resistance in South Asian Narratives from Mahabharat to Manto. These are the contents that I would be discussing within this presentation: abstract, introduction, statement of problem, significance of the study, objectives within my paper, analysis, and then the conclusion. The abstract. I would be just reading out because it is a very short presentation. So, this research undertakes a transhistorical feminist inquiry into the regulation and representation of female sexuality in two distinct yet thematically aligned narrative traditions, the Mahabharata and Sadat Hasan Manto's partition era short stories. Both texts expose a deeply ingrained patriarchal logic that controls, commodifies, and symbolically weaponizes women's bodies and sexual agency despite their temporal and cultural distance. The female body is positioned as property in the Mahabharata, especially in the Sabha episode of Draupadi's Vastaharan, whereas it is also used to symbolize political repercussions, validate dharma, and reflect male honor. Ritual, silence, and divine intervention erase Draupadi's agency, making her sexual violation collateral damage in a male driven quest for power and vengeance. On the other hand, women who are clearly rooted in the periphery of society as prostitutes, who nevertheless display complex emotional lives, personal agency, and moral ambiguity, are portrayed in Manto's short story like Hatak, Mohammed, Moselle, Kholdo. Then we have the God's Gift, and many others. Manto's characters defy patriarchal expectations by embodying a raw humanity and quiet defiance, rejecting idealized victimhood or purity. His tales exposed society's moral hypocrisy as well as the demeaning label placed on women who are considered fallen. I quote, fallen again. Manto's realism reveals the lived trauma, resiliency, and contradictions of such women, whereas classical literature uses mythology to silence their voices. This comparative study shows how both texts use different narrative techniques: mythic abstraction versus unflinching realism, while also reflecting and upholding social structure that marginalize women. The study reclaims Manto's women from the periphery of literary and moral opinion by presenting them as early feminists, contending that their displays of dignity, resistance, and desire continue an early critique of gendered oppression. In the end, this study highlights how literature can both uphold and challenge patriarchal standards and call for a reconsideration of classic works as disputed cultural artifacts that influence and are influenced by gender politics rather than as unchanging truth. Introduction. The Mahabharata reflects the transition from an open value based class society to a rigid caste based structure in Indo Aryan civilization. Despite social and geographical changes, Indian and Pakistani societies share similar attitude towards female sexuality and its control. Sexuality is a core part of human experience, shaped by thoughts, desires, roles, relationships, and influenced by biological, social, cultural, and historical factors. I quote, uh, it has been quoted by WHO's report. Feminist critiques emphasizes the need to give voice to women who have been silenced or marginalized by mainstream society. Whereas Manto's stories expose a morally decaying society where women, particularly sex workers, are commodified and exploited based on male desire and social demand. Manto, with his androgynous sensitivity, reveals the dehumanization of women through the idea of male, I quote, ownership of female sexuality. In Manto's era, control over a woman's body was exercised by male family member, often the husband, reinforcing her role as a provider of sexual gratification. Simon de Beauvoir critiques this dynamic. The married woman, I quote, highlights how marriage institutionalizes female sexual repression while affording men sexual freedom. I mean, that's irony, right? Manto's narratives offer raw, honest portrayal of women forced into prostitution, living in societal margins and sustaining a system that pretends to shun them. He rejects symbolic or mythic representation, choosing instead to depict women as real individuals shaped by socioeconomic forces and social hypocrisy. Patriarchy perpetuates prostitution not as social anomaly but as a mechanism that upholds its moral economy by controlling women's sexuality. Women are reduced to symbols or objects in service of societal structure, stripped of agency and subjected to ideological expectations. The study compares the literary worlds of the Mahabharata and Manto to explore their disturbing thematic parallels. The paper analyzes three key feminist concerns. First, the myth of female consent. Second, the institutionalization of sexual ownership. And third, the emergence of female subjecthood amid patriarchal structure. Specific focus is given to Draupadi's Vastaharan episode and the characters Sultana Nazim Akhtar and Kanta in Manto's story. Statement of the problem. Despite chronological, cultural, and philosophical differences, both ancient epic like Mahabharata and modern realist literature like Manto's story tales show a pervasive social desire to objectify, commodify, and regulate female sexuality. The study reveals a worrying continuity in how patriarchy owns female bodies, whether symbolically or literally, and how manifestations of female desire are hushed, policed, or demonized. The issue is not in image itself, but in how these depictions impact or reflect a genuine cultural standards that deny women's sexual agency. Significance of the study. First, the study offers transhistorical. Yes, yes, I'll be just winding up.
Miss Anisha, please wind it up as soon as possible. And
Right, ma'am.
please, would you like to reflect on the methodology that you have used?
Right, ma'am. The methodology that I have, not within the presentation, but
Okay.
yes, ma'am. First, it would be my methodology is textual analysis first,
Mhm.
and the second would be yes, ma'am. Basically, it's textual analysis and whatever the primary source has been used, and the literature reviews within the papers of other literatures. Yes, ma'am.
Somewhere in your presentation, you have written thematic similarities or thematic analysis. So have you
Yes, ma'am.
tried
Absolutely.
doing the thematic analysis here in your paper, and what does it reflect? What are the basic findings that you get from the thematic analysis?
The basic findings that I have found out is that be it the mythical era and be it the 21st century or the current century or the partition era, both of the eras have been the findings that I have found within this paper is that be it at that time and be it this time, the subjugation of women has been the same. But at the time of Mahabharat era, at the time of the epic era, it had been glorified in a certain way, and when it comes to the partition era, it has been demeaned in a certain way. Both has been depicting a woman, but at the same time, it is parallel. The bases are parallel, but at the same time at the epic time it has not been justified enough because it talks about women in a very glorifying way, but when it comes to partition era it has been demeaning the woman in that particular manner.
Okay, so one thing I would like to ask, do you
Yes,
want to present more, or are you done with it?
ma'am, you please tell me.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
be
Um,
right, sir.
I think we have. I just got the basic idea of your paper. So
Right,
she was
ma'am.
never asked, "What does this
Yes,
mean?
ma'am.
What does this signify
Ma'am,
in your paper?"
I would say, ma'am, she was never asked is basically um for
Can you open
example, I'll
your?
give you,
Can you please switch on your camera so that we can have
ma'am,
a? one-on-one
Actually,
discussion.
I'm really sorry, ma'am. My camera isn't working. That's why I didn't
Okay,
open it in the
fine.
first place.
Please continue. Please continue.
Right, ma'am. Ma'am, so basically, she was never asked. For example, the very first thing, I'll take the example of Draupadi herself. She was herself a subject of her husband's Pandavas? Was she ever asked? She became a subject automatically. Was she ever asked that whether we could bet you within the game? It was absolutely wrong of the Pandavas to bet their own wife. She was subjectified at that point and in front of the whole Sabha, which was not at all acceptable. The episode of the dicing, I quote, within the Dwapar episode. I cannot recall it right now. But yes, at that time, it was her demeaning. Like, within the
And is
Mahabharata, the epic.
does this theme of she was never asked goes with Manto's description of women?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. I mean,
How?
Even though Manto has described his works to the sex workers, basically, right? At the same time, um, I mean, the theme would change a little bit, but the sex workers are also not ever asked whether it is your profession that you wanted to step into or you have been forced into. So that is why even the sex workers were once a woman without this profession. So were they asked ever to get into this profession? No, not at all. So they were also never asked. They were pushed into it because of the family issues or because of the partition. Absolutely. Once at the partition time, when women were abandoned, when they were abducted, when they were raped, after that, the families were not accepting any of those women. Eventually, somehow or the other, just for them to survive, they had to get into this profession just for their survival. So they were also never asked. So yes, ma'am, at the same time, Manto
So
and
here
Mahabharat
comes the
both were.
another question when we talk about
Yes, ma'am.
Draupadi. So Draupadi
Yes, ma'am.
comes from a very strong background. Draupadi was not someone or laywoman who do not
Yes,
have
ma'am.
power or authority. She does possess. Okay.
Right.
First thing is this. Second thing is that when Manto portrays the women in their novels, all these women are basically what we can say in the one word. These women were very bechari, or they do not have any kind of educational upliftment or empowerment. So they had to get into certain kind of professions. So in order to have their livelihood. Okay. Second thing is
Right,
this.
ma'am.
And now third thing is we are living in 21st century. And here,
Right, ma'am.
if we go through the census or if we go through the NHFS data, women literacy has gone up a very higher potential. Okay, women
Right.
literacy is being promoted by the government, and even the people are very aware. They are educating their daughters, and women are also participating in the workforce. Right. So economic
Right, ma'am.
empowerment of women is there. So can we still, in your paper that you have compared these two narratives, so do you think that in 21st century still this problem of women's subjugation is there, or patriarchy is somehow restricting women to openly
Um,
express her sexuality or her power or authority or assertiveness? That is my question to you.
right. Right, ma'am. Thank you for your question, ma'am. See, ma'am, like within this 21st century that we have come upon, there are it. I totally agree that yes, the government has brought our women, the feministic approach towards the society in a very different level. And of course, I mean, from 2012, the fourth wave of the feminism has been upbringing, and it has still been going on. But there has been many changes. Uh, what I mean is that by today itself, the government has tried their level best to upbring the women of the society, but they have not achieved at a proper level, because there are many villages, there are many places out there where at this time also women have been suppressed. There are many, for example, a basic example, just a short story, like, so there is this lady who goes out, who works for her livelihood, right? A married lady who works for her livelihood. Then she comes back, and even if she steps out by saying that, okay, I need to go out, or I need to. She had to take permission anyhow or the other, by her husband, by her in-laws, or any other. She is an independent woman. She can stand for herself, but yet she falls into that category that she has to take permission, be it for for a working woman and not for a not working woman. So it somehow, ma'am, it there is a slight of a gap which is to be filled yet, but it has not been. Maybe you could consider it as that. Maybe it is a part of the culture that we live within. So yes, ma'am, I would say that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Atre. Thank you for your
Thank you, ma'am.
presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you, Alisha ma'am. Next, we have Miss Aditi Bhupendra Dadij Shabnam Siddiqui to present their paper titled Skill to Sustainability, a review of green skill development and entrepreneurship programs for women in Rajasthan. Miss Aditi Bhupendra, you can present your paper now.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Thank you so much. Very good morning to the respected chairperson, co-chairperson, coordinators, faculty members, and all the presenters. I just want to have a quick check on, is the screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
make it full screen. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great, ma'am. Now I'm putting it in the full screen mode. Is it now visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So my name is Aditi Bhupendra Dadhij. I'm a research scholar from Banasthali Vidyapeeth, and I'm doing my research in women entrepreneurship into impact of training and development in making women empowered in terms of earning, making them self-reliant. So today's paper, because it was also World Environment Day yesterday, and we have been celebrating it and sensitizing people to become aware of the environment. But whom are we becoming making aware? You know, we want the general people to be aware of, but without any actions. That's not possible, right? So this paper talks about green skill development and entrepreneurship for women. And my specific area would be Rajasthan, because there are several opportunities here which we can explore in how we can sensitize women to enter into this field and also contribute in the economic growth. So this study basically reviews on what are the entrepreneurial opportunities for women in Rajasthan, and especially focusing on eco-friendly domains. So there are several domains that we'd be talking about here. And first, I would like to walk you through what are these green skills. So in the recent years, green entrepreneurship has evolved, you know, from the buzzword, it is a buzzword, into a vital strategy of becoming sustainably in the environment and in the economy. So what is sustainable development? If we talk of all the SDGs, there are so many SDGs which align with the green skill development. We'll be talking about this in the coming slides. So I would like to first bring your attention to what is basically green development. So if we talk about the entrepreneurial concepts, the first one is environmental upgradation. Very, very important. Green entrepreneurs basically reduce the pollution, they conserve the resources, they promote ecological balance. In fact, yesterday only, I was reading a newspaper article where a case of Fool.com, which is a Kanpur startup done by one of these IITians, and he has basically done the backward linking. He has involved all the ladies, and they are making incense sticks with all the flower waste of Kanpur, and they are also cleaning the river Ganga, and they are contributing in the ecology, they are contributing in the ecosystem, and also promoting entrepreneurial ventures. So this is one core concept of green entrepreneurship. Second concept is making green products like the incense stick. Now this becomes a green product. Then social upgradation, he has involved all the women who are basically marginalized. They are from a community where they don't get jobs easily. They are, we are still living in a country where still there are people who are struggling to find their place. There's racism, casteism, and all these things. So there is social upgradation when they are involved in such projects. And the last one is sustainable business models. It's not done only for charity. They are also earning something. Like if we take example of Goonj also, in fact, as a matter of fact, where they're collecting all the old clothes. But at the same point of time, they're not selling those clothes for free. I mean, they're not giving those clothes for free. They are selling those products or those clothes to the village people, to the rural areas in just 5 rupees. Maybe just a pant would cost them, a pair of trousers would cost them just 5 rupees. So this is sustainable business model. It is definitely a profit making thing, but it is making the environment sustainable. So why do we want women to enter into entrepreneurship? So first, let us understand, there was a recent research done by the UN and UN Women. In fact, they had started a project in 2022, which was on gender mainstreaming, breaking the stereotypes. Generally women are considered to be taking care only of their children, doing jobs like becoming beauticians or doing job like nursing, teaching. So there are stereotypes which are which are generally made for women. So UN Women said that in India, the population of the country is so much so that if 50%, more than 50% of the women start working, their GDP will go up to 26%. That's a big number. So if we talk of women being promoted into entrepreneurial ventures, not only would they contribute in the economy, but they're also going to support their family, and they're going to have the desires fulfilled and the needs fulfilled of their family. So now, how do they start and where do they start? So this entrepreneurial ventures that they start can be green entrepreneurship, means they can contribute in the society by creating social changes, by addressing all the environmental
Excuse me,
problems.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can you
Ms.
please
Adi?
sum up?
Yeah, please sum it up. We are running short of time.
Ma'am, okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah,
So in this,
just go with your findings, what you have really here to propose.
yes, so ma'am, actually it is a narrative review, ma'am. And in this
Okay.
narrative review, what I have found is that if we promote all the renewable energies, sustainable agriculture, and these are the 4 areas in which if we promote women and we train women, we give them training. So there are many NGOs and there are many such CSR activities, but there are still many gaps which we have found here in Rajasthan and especially in Jaipur district, and where women are still struggling. There are a lot of challenges and barriers which they come across before starting their ventures. And if we promote this, there's going to be a huge impact in terms of bringing change and sustainable development in the society, not only at their in their villages where they're living, but also will definitely reduce the burden on the government. So ecotourism, like I would like to give an example. So there was a recent research which also was a part of my finding, that nowadays all these foreigners who are tourists, they come to India and they want to explore the village areas. So now ITC is planning, they haven't started, ma'am, but they're planning to give rural women training on hospitality, ma'am. And that is a big thing. And in the industry of hotel industry and hospitality, where they will take their where all the foreigners can live in their houses, but at the same point of time they have the skills of hospitality, so they are being skilled. So the idea is, if we make people skilled, if we train them in the right direction, if we give them the right platform, they are definitely going to bring change, and it's going to have a manifold change, snowball effect in the times to come. So this was the major finding, ma'am. And there are many such organizations and government schemes which are already working on it. Like I would like to point out the Rajivika, where they are working on the self-help groups, ma'am. They're training the women, and also, but at the same point of time, in the self-help groups, ma'am, the biggest loophole, the finding of this paper was, when these self-help group people are given the funds, they don't use the funds to start their things. They are forced to use those funds into family obligations, like daughter's marriage, or maybe construction and all those things. So this is a big limitation, and that was a major finding of this paper. And but at the same point of time, if they are promoted well, if they are channelized well, that can bring a huge change in the society. Likewise, in 2024, you must have heard of the Lakpati Didi Yojana, where income generation is specially focused on the rural women, ma'am, which is focusing on starting solar lanterns. In fact, here there is a college, Barefoot College, which is training the girls on installing solar panels and bringing light, electricity in their villages, and they're giving free, and they're sponsored by the CSRs. So, but at the same point of time, still there is a limitation that they are stereotyped. Their family members say, "Arey, bachchi bijli ka khamba thodi lagaegi." So we need to break the stereotype. And
Okay. Thank you.
that is. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tadish.
Ma'am, just a second. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to
No
answer.
questions. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Tadish, for your
Ma'am,
presentation.
yes, ma'am. Just a second, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, I just wanted to click a picture, ma'am, of this being presented. That is the reason.
Sure, you can. Please turn on your camera.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to click the presentation picture, ma'am. It will just take 1 minute, ma'am. Just one. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Really obliged. Deeply grateful, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank
I would request all the participants to be mindful of the time. Please do not exceed the given time. You have 5 minutes to present and then 2 to 3 minutes for the question and answer. Otherwise, you will be marked accordingly for the best paper presenters as well.
Do we have Ms. Mittal with us, Arshita Mittal?
Yes.
Hello,
Next.
am I audible?
Yes, Arshita. Arshita, please note the guideline. Please make your presentation as brief as you can. Go with the introduction,
Yes.
the research methodology you have used, and the key and major findings of your paper. Please just stick
Sure,
to that.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Arshita. Please start with your presentation.
I'll just share my screen. Let me know if it is visible. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is visible. Please switch it to.
Yeah, it's happening.
It is
Oh.
not. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I am Arshita, and today I'll be presenting on the topic ethical online retailing, balancing personalization with consumer rights. So, as digital commerce continues to dominate a global market, we are faced with a critical paradox. On one hand, consumers enjoy personalized experiences powered by advanced algorithms. On the other hand, these very systems raise concerns about privacy, autonomy, and fairness. Let's begin with the backdrop. Over the last decade, the online retail landscape has evolved dramatically. Companies are leveraging artificial intelligence and big data analytics to deliver highly customized shopping experiences. But with personalization comes risk. Consumers often don't realize the extent of data collection, nor are they fully aware of how it shapes their choices. There's also the concern of algorithm discrimination and manipulative tactics such as dark patterns. This is the literary review, Rise of Personalization. The academic and industry literature shows that personalization is a powerful tool. It's designed to optimize customer experience, enhance engagement, and ultimately drive conversion rates. While personalization drives commercial success, it also introduces a series of ethical challenges. First and foremost is the data privacy. Second is consent. Profiling and discrimination are other issues. And the last one is manipulation. Some of the ethical theories that we can use to understand is the deontological ethics rooted in Kantian philosophy stresses the importance of duty and respect for individuals. Second one is utilitarianism, evaluates actions based on outcomes. Lastly, virtue ethics focuses on the moral character of organization. The research methodology I have used in this study is qualitative research methodology. I have conducted an extensive review of academic literature, regulatory frameworks, such as GDPR and India's DPDP Act and company transparency reports. Ethical dilemmas that I have noticed that are in practice are in number one is informed consent, which is rarely truly informed. Many platforms rely on pre-enabled cookies and general terms of service that users do not fully read or fully understand. Data and control is an area of concern. Most companies hold near total control over user data. Next one is algorithm system may inadvertently reinforce societal inequalities. And lastly, behavioral manipulation. Users are nudged into purchase through urgency cues, hidden cost, or default options they are unlikely to notice or understand. I have done case studies of a few of the websites. Um, Number one is Amazon. Amazon is a global leader in AI driven personalization. It uses collaborative filtering and behavioral targeting to provide highly accurate product suggestions. However, this comes at a cost. Amazon doesn't fully disclose how its algorithm operates, nor does it allow users to easily opt out of personalized recommendation. Next one is Flipkart India. Flipkart represents a slightly different concept. It's a leading e-retailer in India. Importantly, it's now subject to India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act, that is DPDP Act, which mandates clearer consent mechanisms and user rights.
Please conclude. Ms. Mittal, please conclude.
Yes. Next case studies of Earth Hero is a smaller and mission driven, but it uses clear language to explain how personalization works and links product suggestion to environmental scores. So we can learn from this whole paper is that uh, we have proposed an ethical framework built on five core principles. Number one is transparency, which explains what data is collected and why using clear, accessible language. Number two is consent, allow users to opt into specific types of data use, not just blanket agreements. Number three is fairness, audit algorithms for bias regularly and use inclusive data sets. Number four is control, which offers dashboards to manage their data and personalization levels. Lastly, accountability, which publishes transparency reports. Let's now jump to the discussion part. Ethical personalization is not anti-technology. It's about responsible innovation. Consumers are increasingly aware of digital rights. Brands that align with these values enjoy higher trust, greater loyalty, and improved lifetime value. Also, as AI becomes more central
Ms.
to
Mittal,
retail,
please conclude. Please conclude.
These are my conclusion and implications. In conclusion, we argue that personalization must move from data extraction to data dignity. Ethical personalization safeguards consumer rights while enhancing brand reputation and regulatory compliance. This research is relevant not just to retailers but to policymakers as well. Uh, there's a future scope of exploring emerging technologies like generative AI, voice commerce, and real-time consent systems. Here are the references for the paper. Thank you very much. I'm now open to the questions.
Thank you, Ms. Mittal.
It's Arshita, I would like to correct.
Oh, sorry. Okay, two people are there. Fine, fine. Okay, Ms. Arshita,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your presentation.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. No questions.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Next,
Can
we
we move
have,
forward to, yes, yes.
yes, ma'am. Next, we have Mr. Arun John Mani and Dr. Sunita Sharma to present their paper titled Beyond the Totalitarian Eye, Reimagining God Through Whitehead's Process Philosophy Beyond the Totalitarian Eye, Reimagining, yes, God Through Whitehead's Process Philosophy. Mr. Arun John Mani and Dr. Sunita Sharma, you can present your papers now. सिर्फ नाम ले दे, पेपर के नाम मत लेना, सिर्फ ऑथर्स के नाम ले दे। नहीं है।
Do we have Arun John Mani or Dr. Sunita with us?
Next. Next, we have Nayan Shivram to present their paper titled Impact of Performing Arts on Individual Health Management, a perspective of classical dancer as a practitioner management.
Do we have Mr. Shivram with us here? We do. Please unmute yourself. Ms. Nayana Shivram, please unmute yourself. Ms. Tiwari, I think there is a technical problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have another person? Ask her to unmute.
And ma'am, can you please unmute yourself? We
She
cannot
has
hear
unmuted.
you.
We cannot hear. He has unmuted, but we cannot hear.
Let's-
I think let's go with another one and ask her to solve the technical problem. Go with another one.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Do we have Mr. Kayode with us?
Mr. Kayode. Next.
Nahi hai, I think is absent. We have Sule Mohammed and Dr. Ahmed Kainuwa.
Yes, yes, ma.
Mr. Sule Mohammed. Oh, fine, okay.
Good,
You're
good
ready with your
morning
presentation?
to you all.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Sula Muhammad.
Fine. Please
I'm Sula Muhammad.
proceed with your
Good morning.
presentation. Yeah. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning to you all. I'm Sula Muhammad. My topic is the impact of educational policy on holistic and sustainable development in Nigeria. Education stands as a fundamental pillar of national progress, serving as both a driving force and the medium through which economic advancement and social justice and environment steward are achieved. In this work, we adopt human capital theory, and sustainable development theory. So human capital theory, this theory is assert that investment in education, training, and skill development yields substantial economic and social return for both individual and society at large. So it regards education as a benefit to humanity at all. Then sustainable development theory. This theory promotes the fulfillment of current needs without jeopardizing the capacity of future generations to meet their educational development. Then overview of educational policy in Nigeria. So educational policy in Nigeria have been instrumental in defining the structure, priority of nation educational development. It's designed to confront critical issues such as accessibility of education, quality of education, equity and education, and the relevances of education to the nation at large. Education and holistic development in Nigeria. So education stands as the heart holistic development in Nigeria, serving as a catalyst for nurturing the full spectrum of human potential, intellectual and emotional, social, physical, and ethical holistic development, which encompass all-round growth of individual and enable them to acquire knowledge, values, attitudes, and skills, essentially for meaningful societal participation. Education and sustainable development in Nigeria. So education is universally acknowledged as a cornerstone for achieving sustainable development in Nigeria. It serves as both a driver and indicator of national progress. So sustainable development as defined by United Nations refers to meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. So in Nigerian context, education is an essential tool to addressing critical challenges poverty, such as poverty, environmental degradation, inequality, youth unemployment, and insecurity. So certainly, education can, if education will be properly used or utilized, it can address this kind of issues or problems militating against the development of Nigeria. So the role of education in policies in advancing sustainable development in Nigeria. So educational policy serve as fundamental blueprint for steering development in Nigeria, shaping how nations learning system responds to economic, social, and environmental priorities. So within the Nigerian context, sustainable development encompasses inclusion, economic growth, poverty alleviation, ecological preservation, and promotion of national peace and cohesion. So education stands as a powerful lever in realizing these goals, and the strategic crafting and the implementing of sound educational policy can significantly fast track of national development
Mr.
in
Sule,
Nigeria.
sorry to interrupt. Kindly conclude. Kindly conclude.
So, yeah, thank you. So,
Yeah.
in conclusion, this research work has explored the influence of educational policies in Nigerian politics and the sustainable development, drawing insight from human capital theory and sustainable development theory. So, the finding affirmed that education is a cornerstone of national development, contributing not only to economic growth but also in social integration, environmental consciousness, and the personal development. Thank you very much for the listening.
Thank you, Mr. Sule. Only one question I need to ask. You have written a paper on the impact of educational policies on holistic and sustainable development in Nigeria. I do only want to ask, how does this resonate with the theme of the conference, and does these holistic policies of education, does they have any resilience, does they have contributed to climate resilience?
So, educational policy has a role or can contribute meaningfully toward the addressing of environmental problem by including policy to educational curriculum so that it will fit and captured the need of environmental problem addressing, so that that particular inclusiveness of educational policy into the curriculum, then it will be utilized to address environmental challenges in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sule.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Tapasya Chauhan to present her paper titled Prakriti or Hindi Sahitya. Dr. Tapasya Chauhan. Next, we have Dr. Shriparna Guha to present her paper titled From Emissions to Equity, Legal and Ethical Frontiers of Climate Change Governance.
Thank you, ma'am. I think, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, I'm sharing my slides. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
It is
Yes,
visible.
okay. Okay. So my topic is the impact of the climate change and this pollution related. So we all know that climate change is a pressing global issue that affect the ecosystem worldwide. Due to the rising of the temperature and shifting the weather patterns and increasing the frequency of extreme weather events that threaten the biodiversity, disrupt ecosystem, and also alter the species distribution. Not only like that, it also have an effect on the human health and the livelihood. And in terms of economy, it also have a huge impact regarding the economic cost. Economic repercussions of the climate change are profound regarding the infrastructure damage, reduced agriculture output, and increase the healthcare cost lead to a significant financial burden for the nation and the communities. Now, um, so the unjust burden, disproportionate impacts, and the climate injustice. So while climate change is a global phenomenon, the impacts are far from uniformly distributed. Now, there are certain examples that if we consider the farmer in the rural Bangladesh whose crops are repeatedly destroyed by the floods, and also the island in the Fiji where the home in the their basically their homes is shown by the rising floods. So these are the communities with the minimal historical emission, yet they are on the front line of a crisis legacy created by the industrialized nations. So my basically the objective of my paper is to understand that this revolving the landscape and ethical framework surrounding the climate change and analyzing the key international agreements and the litigation trends and the role of corporate responsibility. Now, this methodology I have chosen for this particular paper is the PRISM, that is the preferred reporting items from the systematic reviews and the meta-analysis. And I found that the different literature, I first surveyed the 150 literature from the WOS and the Scopus Index journal. After that, I reviewed on the basis of the key items. I just select the 40 journals. And after that, with relevant regarding to this climate change and the different methods of the calculation of this accounting purpose, I have selected the 25. After that, this 25, I just find out that what are the research gap and also that what are the challenges in this area. So the basic, the essential
Ms.
for success.
Guha, please conclude.
Yes,
Give your
yes. I
major
just
findings and
yes,
yes.
yes, yes. I just found that the key challenges regarding the implementation of the carbon accounting, such as the lack of standardized methodologies in the tool, and also the lack of quality of the emission data, and also the complexity in the supply chains and the high implementation of the cost. So here we see that the 7 ingredients, that is the final drawbacks that I try to mention, that 7 ingredients for calculating the social cost of carbon SAC, and these are the different diagram. From there, we have to calculate it. But the so in conclusion, we can say that implementation of this policy is important, and there should be some standard methodology so that all the countries should follow. And because there is a industry is also responsible for contributing this type of results. So as a whole, we know all these are different the legal framework that also help us to understand of the problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Uma.
Now we can.
Okay, so with this, I think we have come to the end of the paper presentations.
Uh, Excuse me, ma'am. I am left, Ashish.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one last presenter,
ex-
Ashish.
But it is not
Uh,
listed here,
Excuse.
Ashish Trivedi. Is it?
yes, ma'am. It has been updated in the morning itself.
Okay, okay. So I need to write it down. So
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We'll
Excuse me,
take your
ma'am.
name. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. We'll
Yeah,
add you at the
I'm.
last.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Naina Shivaram.
Yes, ma'am. After Ashish, we'll request you to present.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Ashish, can you please start presenting?
Okay, yes. I'll just present because I'm facing some technical issues. So I'll just speak here. Is it okay?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm Ashish Dwivedi, a research scholar at the Department of Performing and Fine Arts, Central University of Punjab. I'm honored to present my paper titled Acting as a Path to Self Realization, the Spiritual Dimension of Performance. So, this paper explores how the practice of acting, far from being merely a craft or a technique, can become a profound journey of spiritual growth and self discovery. So, drawing from the traditional Indian text, modern performances theory, and personal reflection, I aim to examine how actors' process can mirror spiritual practice and transformation. So, we will look at acting not just an imitation or entertainment, but as sadhana. So, what is sadhana? It is a disciplined inward journey where the self is refined and offered through performance. So, through this presentation, I invite you to consider performance as more than representation, as a sacred ritual that can connect the performer, the audience, and the spirit. So, the main question is ki, can the act of performing, especially in theatre, become a path to self realization? So, we often think theatre as an outward expression, projecting a character, telling a story, entertaining an audience. But in many traditions, especially in classical Indian and spiritual theatre practices, performer's journey is as much inward as it is outward. So theater becomes a mirror of the soul, a space where actor gradually peels away layers of identity, ego, and illusion to reach something more authentic and essential. So this raises the idea that acting, when approached consciously and with dedication, can serve as a spiritual exercise, a form of inquiry into the self. So now I'll go to the main aspect which I've taken this. For example, if we take about yoga and meditation, so acting requires a commitment to repetition, concentration, and a gradual surrender of ego. So the actor doesn't merely portray another character; they train the body, breath, voice, and emotion. So if I talk about the past texts, I've taken from the Natashas, and if I talk about the modern texts, I've taken from Grotowski, Peter Brook, and Stanislavski. So if I talk about Natashas, so the Natyashastra sees theatre not as a mere entertainment, but as a spiritual and philosophical discipline created by the gods to educate, uplift, and restore cosmic balance. In Natyashastra, performance is likened to yajna. Yajna, it is a sacred ritual offering, just as a Vedic priest perform with purity and intention. So too must the actor approach the stage as a sacred site, where the body, voice,
Mr.
and
Dwivedi,
emotion.
please
Yes.
conclude. We are running out of time, actually.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Sorry to disturb.
Uh, it's okay. Like in concluding, I would like to say that acting is much more than a technical skill or an art form. When approached with intention and dedication, it becomes a transformative spiritual practice. And throughout history, theater has been deeply intertwined with spirituality, serving as a medium for inner exploration, ritual, and communal awakening. The actor's journey from rehearsal to performance mirrors many spiritual disciplines that cultivates presence, surrender, and authenticity. So, by understanding and embracing the spiritual dimension of theater, both performers and audience can experience deeper connection, meaning, and transformation. So, thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Dwivedi. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank
There's
you.
this last presentation, Nayana. You can start presenting and please try to sum up as quickly as possible as we are running out
Yeah.
of time.
Very fast. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon to chairperson, uh, presenters here. I am Nayana Shivaram from Sri University for Human Excellence, Karnataka, Department of in the field as well as 10 years of teaching in academics. My paper is Impact of Performing Arts on Individual Health Management, a perspective of classical dancer as a dance practitioner. This is the experimental method I have chosen, and this paper involves performing arts like music, dance, theater arts, instrumental, all how it will enhances our one's health management of health. In general, public will go for maintaining health with the walking, playing, gym, laughter club, etc. But classical dance involves exercise, entertainment, as well as enlightenment. That are three E's in this that. And then how the physical health through dance we can make one thing. Warm up exercise before learning dance, as well as basic steps involving they are in slow, medium, and fast pace, and hours of practicing involving body parts like a head, shoulder, waist, chest, hands, and legs, even sensitive parts like eyes, eyebrows, eyelids, etc. And using all the hand gestures, they make us as a effect of acupressure to maintain one physical health. The next, mental and emotional health, the facial expressions or the abhinaya, we call it in a technical term, and the use of right and left, all the body parts, it enhances, stimulates the brain, right and left brain hormones, as well as the classical dance, which involves hand gestures to through abhinaya, stimulates all the body and mental hormones. How the classical dance, social and spiritual well-being, they can maintain the spiritual and social well-being. So classical dance is a means of communication, so we can communicate any part of the India with our strength. Then classical dance involves mythological stories and the scriptures, all the spiritual kind of things. So we have the chakras, awakening the chakras through dance is also on the study. And then the classical dance is not only the entertainment, and it is enlightenment for oneself, entertainment for the society. And the lyrics of the compositions of classical dances involves the ethics, values, and messages to the society. And we always follow the Guru Parampara system, which is strongly based on the cultural heritage as well as the spiritual ethics of the India. So the key findings of my paper was that health challenges addressed as a practitioner. Dance enhances metabolism, improves the blood circulation, strengthens the cardiovascular endurance, helps to improve the nervous system. Remembering complex choreography activates neuroplasticity and enhances ability to multitasking. So classical dance fights mental issues like stress, anxiety, and depression, as well as classical dance prolongs aging. So these are the key findings of my paper, and it's strictly experimental, and my experience, it is come out in this paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nayana. You had just quoted it is an experimental study. So have you conducted certain kind of review or something?
Exactly.
Experiment over the certain people
No.
who are practicing dance? Something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, most of our students. So because I have told in the beginning, I have 30 years of experience in teaching the Bharatanatyam performance, practicing everything. I have conducted those kind of hours of practice and modifications to how they have to do warm-up exercise, and then how they have to continue with the steps, everything, abhinaya classes, everything, and with the counseling with the students as well as the practitioners, with dance practitioners.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Nayana.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity for giving this chairperson, as well as Vivekananda Global University, as well as ICERT. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now I want to thank all the presenters, and I would like Dr. Neha to announce two of the best paper presenters for today's session.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhanupriya Tiwari.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's been a wonderful session, first of all, and I would like to congratulate all the participants who have taken up their time to attend this conference and to present their papers. And all the presentations are very commendable, and I congratulate all of them for giving a wonderful and a good presentation. Although it is the demand of the conference and the setup of the conference is like that. The framework says that we have to put away two papers that I think or that we think is the best presenters or the best paper written. Otherwise, I would congratulate everyone who has presented and come here. They have given up. They have done a very good job while writing up the paper and presenting the paper. So please do not find that it is something hierarchical or something that yours is not good and others are good. Yours, others, every paper is good in itself and represent a diversified and a special category. And in this session, I would like to say that we have papers from diverse areas. Like we have paper from gender perspectives, like paper from Shalu Mohan, paper from Anisha Atre, specifically talking about femininity and feminine and gender issues, patriarchal setups, and another paper presented by Brinda, which is on literature. And we have another paper focusing on the literature also, like Prakriti or Hindi Sahitya, that unfortunately was not being presented. But we have diverse areas from where the papers are here. So coming to the conclusion of this conference and concluding this conference, I would like to state the name of the two best presenters that in my mind they have presented and written the paper in a very well-structured manner and presented it here. The second best paper is of Ms. Arshita and Ella Mittal, that is Ethical Online Retailing, Balancing Personalization with Consumer Rights. Congratulations. And the first best paper that I think is, this is presented by Ms. Aditi Bhupendra Davich and Shabnam Siddiqui. Paper titled Skill to Sustainability, a review of green skill development and entrepreneurship program for women in Rajasthan.
Firstly, I would like to congratulate the winners.
Congratulations.
Yes. A sincere thank you to all our esteemed, to our esteemed chairperson, Dr. Neha Bhartiya, for her insightful guidance and thoughtful observations throughout this session. Your presence added immense value to our today's proceeding, ma'am.
Thank you.
And a warm thank you to all our presenters for sharing their outstanding research, innovative ideas, and thought-provoking perspectives. Your contribution have truly sparked meaningful dialogue and reflection. And now I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Tabishi for the next technical session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neha ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Bhanupriya Tiwari. Thank you so much.
We'll be starting the next technical session shortly. I request everyone to join and stay tuned. We are just waiting for the resource person to join. So let's wait for 5 minutes, then we'll start with the presentations. Good day, everyone. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to this third session of this dynamic multidisciplinary conference, which has given us diverse voices from across the globe and has come together to share their researches and their innovations. It is an honor, it is my honor to welcome the presenters, the chairpersons, and the attendees to this conference. In today's session, it is my privilege to introduce the chairperson, Professor Dr. Suresh C. Joshi. He is a distinguished scholar, a visionary leader whose dedication to academic excellence and interdisciplinary research has inspired many. His guidance will undoubtedly enrich the depth and direction of our discussions today and the researchers will be presenting. Professor Joshi is a distinguished academician with over 33 years of teaching and research experience in zoology at the University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. A postdoctoral fellow from University of Turku, Finland, he has held key academic and administrative roles, including the Vice Chancellor of Lord University and various leadership positions at University of Rajasthan. His research focuses on the hormone-dependent cancer, pesticide toxicity, plant-based therapies, and transdermal drug delivery. Professor Joshi has published over 190 researches and guided 40 PhD and postdoctoral scholars. And he has authored several books. He has received numerous awards, including multiple Lifetime Achievement Awards, and is a fellow of 5 esteemed academic bodies. Renowned for his contribution as a teacher, researcher, and in science community, Professor Joshi has been invited to multiple conferences as speakers worldwide. His significant advanced knowledge has helped researchers develop their knowledge and grow more in their field. Sir, it is a pleasure to have you here. I request you to share your thoughts and ideas with us regarding this conference.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm thankful to Professor N.D. Mathur, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and Organizing Committee for inviting me in this very prestigious conference. I think first we should start the presentation, then we can conclude it.
Okay, sir. Sir, as you wish.
Yeah.
So, sir, can I call upon the first presenter?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So the first presenter is Miss Renu Garg. Ma'am, if you are here, please, you can start presenting.
Good
Miss
afternoon,
Renu?
everyone. Yes, I'm
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
1 minute.
Okay, so before starting, I would like to tell everybody that the time for presentation is 5 minutes. Try not to exceed the time limit. And then there is 2 minutes for the question answer round. Sir, there will be 2 best presenters selected from this. So mark the presenters accordingly.
Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Renu Garg. I'm a research scholar at the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication at the Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur. I'm a professional theatre practitioner and I'm an alumnus of the prestigious National School of Drama, New Delhi. And I'm also serving as a director at the Indira National School of Communication at Pune. Today, I will be sharing my insights from my research title, Theatre and Ritualistic Storytelling, Performing Faith in Modern World. This paper explores how traditional rituals are performed and transformed through modern theatrical practices across cultural contexts.
Research scholar है almost sir.
May I continue, sir?
Yeah, please continue, Renu.
Sure. Okay. So theatre has always been more than mere entertainment. And it is, of course, because at the core, it is deeply rooted into cultural practices that has historically served as a vessel for ritual, spiritual exploration, and communal reflection across civilizations, from the sacred performances in ancient Greek amphitheaters to the mystical narratives of Indian Natya Shastra traditions. Performance has been a means of enacting the divine, preserving ancestral wisdom, and reaffirming collective values. Theatre provides not just as a narrative spectacle, but as a sacred space, like a liminal space where humans and divine, secular and sacred, they could meet. It serves to educate, to heal, and to bind the communities through shared myth and ritual. The actors become intermediaries, and the audience and the participants share a different bond. In our contemporary, in this increasingly globalized and secular society, one might assume that the role of ritual in performance has diminished. However, the modern theatre continues to offer a space for reaffirming of faith, identity, and memory. Although this transformation and hybrid form, the artists today draw upon traditional rituals not just to preserve them but to reinterpret them using innovative staging styles like the digital tools, and this is seen across the cultural, globally. So this research explores how the elements of ritual and belief are carried forward, adapted, and communicated through the evolving language of modern theatre. It seeks to eliminate the enduring power of performance to embody faith, not only as an act of devotion, but as an ongoing creative process of making meaning in the modern world. In doing so, it positions theatre as both a culture archive and a living, breathing mode of spiritual expression. So the objective of this research is to understand the translation of traditional rituals into the language of modern theatre. The first objective is to investigate how age-old rituals, often sacred or symbolic and deeply rooted in culture traditions, are recontextualized and represented within the framework of contemporary theatre. This involves analyzing how theatrical practitioners reinterpret ritual performances such as chanting, offerings, or processional acts, and the bodily movement in ways that maintain their essence while making them accessible and meaningful to the modern audiences. The goal is to trace how this dramaturgy, this scenography, and this sort of narrative structure and the actor training are used to mediate the translation, thereby bringing ancient spiritual practices with present-day performance conventions. Second objective is to identify the performative strategies in culturally blended urban spaces. This caves into the method and the strategies that theatre artists employ to articulate religious or the spiritual ideas in pluralistic urban and intercultural contexts. This strategy includes the use of symbolism, then improvisation, digital projections, or the interfaith narratives. Multiple scripts are there, multilingual performances are there. So a lot of such experiments are being done in contemporary cities. They are marked by diversity, use of hybrid forms. These performance techniques become the essential tool for negotiating meaning. And the third is to examine audience reception across cultural and global communities. The third objective focuses on how the audience from different cultural backgrounds and the belief system and the geographies, how they engage and interpret these rituals infused performances. This is particularly significant in the global setting where memory, identity, and belonging are open in flux. By employing interviews, ethnographic observations, and the reflective feedback mechanism, this study investigates whether and how audience experiences a sense of sacredness, emotional resonance, and the cultural connection through such performances. So do they see any spiritual experience, artistic interpretations, or both? Understanding this perception helps us to evaluate the transformative and the communicative power of ritual theatre across these contexts. So the theoretical framework here that I used was Victor Turner's, speaks of liminality, the in-between space where transformation happens, and the communitas, the shared experience among the participants in the ritual. Also, Richard Schegner's concept of restored behavior, restored behavior, highlights how the performance are rehearsed and reenacted in the rituals. Also, there is Eugenie Barbara's idea, yeah, that focuses on actors' internal spiritual and physical preparation before
Excuse me, ma'am.
performance.
Can you please sum up?
Okay. Okay. So I examined, three. This research was basically carried on three, different groups. One was a village repertory that incorporates the Vedic chants. That is the chorus theatre company in Manipur, Imphal, which is run by Ratan Thyamji's disciples and his family. And this repertory, it integrates the traditional rituals into the theatre production. The second was an urban interfaith theatre group, which focused on, where I focused on the Ramnagar Ki Ram Leela, that is in Varanasi, which is also a 200-year-old UNESCO festival site, where it showcases the history and culture. And the third was focusing on the international adaptation of Peter Brook's Mahabharata, where he brought Orientalism to the Western world, which was first done in French, and then where they used multimedia for English translations, and then later on it was.
Ma'am, I would request you to come to the conclusion and
Sure.
summarize it as.
All right, yeah. So so I'll just quickly run through the presentation, and so these are some of the findings of the research, and I'll quickly come to the conclusion. So this research, it opens several exciting avenues for further study. One is exploring the virtual ritual performance using AI and VR. Second is conducting longitudinal studies to assess long-term audience impact. And third is the comparative cross-culture studies to show how faith is performed globally. And the Oriental ritualistic performances are contributing globally. And this research also highlights how this could deepen our understanding of how technology and tradition can go and co-create some wonderful sacred experiences. And yeah, I would like to connect with you. Thank you. If you have any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, Renu, just I have one question. It's
Yes.
good presentation, but would you like to clarify what do you mean by faith in modern world? What is it?
So faith in modern world today, most of the time, if you see the Gen Zs, they connect with faith in a very different manner. For Indians, orientally, the way we are conditioned, especially when I was working on my, performances that were focused on Ramayana and Mahabharata. The faith was a ritualistic perception for us. Today, the dynamics of faith have changed. So where faith today is more of a spiritual experience, not necessarily a ritual. However, the practice of ritual is also important, and it could be projected in a very different way, and it still contributes to our belief system of faith. So that's the idea.
Okay. Thank you, Renu, for your
Thank you.
nice presentation.
Thank you.
I request to all the participants, please sum up your work within 5 minutes. Just say what is your objective, methodology, and conclusion only. No need for introduction like anything. Just conclude your. Okay. Next
Thank you,
speaker
ma'am.
is Meena
Uh,
Savaria. Next speaker, Meena Savaria is here.
Meena, ma'am.
Meena
Uh,
Savaria.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am, you
yeah.
are over.
Just give me a second. I'll share my slide.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please try and conclude, try to summarize your research as soon as possible, but have a short time.
So,
Yes.
the slides are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the topic of my research is caste
First, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm going to start my presentation. I hope I'm audible to everyone. The title of my presentation is Caste, Gender and Identity, Life Story of Dalit Woman. So this paper focuses on spiritual journey of Koshal Pawar as narrated in her autobiography work, Bhavanjo Ke Beech. It's her autobiography name. The text reflects the deep struggles of a Dalit woman born in oppressive realities of caste and gender-based hierarchies in the Indian society. Pawar's earlier experience of exclusion, humiliation, and identity crisis I tried to understand through the psychological and philosophical tools to seek the spiritual and social liberation inspired by the revolutionary ideas of Ambedkar and Buddhism, not only as a religion, but as a path to reclaim dignity, equality, and self-worth. Her conversation marks a powerful shift from the internalized oppression to spiritual awakening. Pawar's narrative is not just a personal journey, but also a collective voice for many Dalit women, illustrating how spirituality can empower marginalized individuals to challenge systematic injustice and construct a liberated identity. This paper argues that there is a need to be inclusion of such testimonies and narratives in educational pedagogy of psychology and philosophy and its practices in diverse forms. So I would like to take this Pawar's journey ahead by understanding her autobiography. Pawar Conversations to Buddhism is both spiritual and political, and she embraces Buddhism not as a religion, but as a conscious act of reclaiming her selfhood, rejecting the discrimination based on caste and gender, and aligned with the community of resistance and equality. There is a spiritual awakening as resistance. For Pawar, Buddhism became a spiritual awakening, offering refuge from pain and also serving as a form of resistance. It allows her to reject the inferiority and affirm her values as a human being and a Dalit woman. So this journey holds a significant relevance. And I'm concluding by saying that the spiritual journey is both personal and political. As we can look at the Pawar's narratives, which is rooted in the repeated experience of humiliations. It exemplifies how marginalized individual can transform suffering into strength through the spiritual agency. So I'm just this testimony based on the violence can help us to understand the journeys in a holistic and inclusive ways to understand the people located on margins. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Meena, for your excellent presentation. What is the message behind your presentation?
So basically, I'm trying to understanding this Pawar's journey, the autobiography by textual, doing that thematic analysis. And looking it from the perspective of psychology to understand how the identity is constructed and how when she's constructed her own identity, what are the experiential and subjective experience she experienced in her lived life.
So how this will be useful for the society?
So yeah, it will give an enlightenment to many other many other women, especially Dalit women, to unfold their own experience. Because as we heard, like there are many reports since came from 2006 in higher educations that the scholars, basically the Dalit scholars, are doing the suicides, and this gives a voice to them and help them to encourage that they can able to continue their journey by looking at these autobiographies and take the strengthening and positive ideas to go ahead in the life and to vocal their voice about their caste and gender-based discrimination, and to make a space for themselves.
Okay. Thank you, Meena. Okay. Next speaker is Dr. Biju Borakataki.
Dr. Biju, you can start presenting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, there is a problem in my presentation. May I present my paper without PPT?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Myself, Dr. Biju Borkotaki, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, BS College, Hauli, Borpeta, Assam. My topic is with diversity in Borpeta district as a source for sustainable and diverse food source. We generally refer to any plant where it is not wanted. Which grow in agricultural field are generally considered undesirable and targeted to eradicate because they retard the growth of crop plants by using up the nutrients from the soil and compete for sunlight and water with the crop plants. But plant considered as weed in one place may not be considered in another place because it is site specific. Many which serve as secondary host for many pests and diseases and cause loss of biodiversity and health hazard. The adverse climatic conditions badly affect the agri-food system by causing more than 40% of world food supply. But in contrast, we can withstand under adverse conditions and decrease crop yield by 10 to 80% depending upon different environmental conditions. The adaptability and resilience of wheat have led to the global spread of many species, making them one of the most successful plant groups in the world. But there is a big challenge to fulfill the need of food and nutrition security for ever-growing population, which is estimated as 9.9 billion people by 2050, and there must be increased food production by 25% from 2020 and 70% by 2050. But despite of their adverse effect, we have surprisingly positive potential as a sustainable food source. It is reported that 66% of total which are edible with high nutritional and medicinal value reported by Duke. Many which have been traditionally used by the people of Assam as vegetable contribute to food security and health. Objective of the study, investigate and documentation of the wheat species used as vegetable in the study area, create awareness among the people and encourages them to cultivate and conserve them for sustainability. Research focus on the wheat species, wheat as food source in Hauli Borpeta Road area of Assam, district Borpeta, India. Methodology, field survey, market visit at different seasons of the year 2024, interviewing with the resourceful person, village headman, and elderly person. Key findings from the study. A total of 47 wheat species under 33 families were collected from the study area. Many people, mainly by the villagers, use wheat as vegetable and it form an essential part of their daily diet. The list included 47 wheat species with their family and their uses. Out of these, we have collected 47 species which are used by the people as their food under in the study area. Highest of 4 species are used from the Amanthaceae family, followed by 3 species from the both Asteraceae and 2 species from the family Apiaceae, Lamiaceae, Caryophyllaceae, Polygonaceae, and Smilaceae, and one from the rest. Conclusion, edible wheat species may provide an alternative source of food to addressing future food security and challenges. The wheat plants being eradicated sometimes indiscriminately by ignoring their beneficial side. 47 species which are used as vegetable by the people of study area. So agro-biodiversity conservation strategies should include wheat species used as alternative source of food. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Biju, for nice presentation.
Yes.
Have you studied toxicological studies of weeds?
And no, sir, I have collected the species which are used by the villagers. Mainly, the tribal peoples use these wheat species as vegetables.
So, do you have any toxicological information about this plant or not?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Parthenium. It has allergic effect. One of the most important wheat species which cause serious diseases, mainly the allergic reaction.
Yeah, because that's I'm interested in knowing this. They have allergic reactions also.
Yes, sir.
So be careful before you recommend for any sustainable and diverse food source.
Oh,
Just
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
go through literature, and then you conclude about this. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, Dr. Biju.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker is Miss Diana.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. My name is Daina Sanate, and I'll be presenting on the topic Continuity and Change in Mardat Rituals and Afterlife Beliefs, a study of pre- and post-Christian influences. Let me share my screen. Just give me a minute.
सर वो वही सब अपने कुछ नहीं कुछ नहीं कुछ
The Mars are an indigenous ethnic group predominantly inhabiting regions of northeast India, particularly in Mizoram, Tripura, Manipur, and Assam. And they possess a rich cultural heritage with deeply rooted customs and rituals. Among these, dead rituals hold significant importance, reflecting both spiritual beliefs and communal values. In Mar culture, death is not seen as a cessation of life, but rather a transition to another realm, often involving the belief in the continuation of the soul and its journey to the world of the dead. The nature and scale of a person's funeral are not only influenced by the way a person lived their life, but also by the manner of their death. By examining ritual practices, cosmological beliefs, and their transformation over time, this presentation highlights both cultural resilience and religious adaptation. According to the Mar people, elders traditionally refer to death with the expressions Van Vomtsang or Tlafamtsang. The former Van Vomtsang conveys the notion of ascending to glory or entering a place of honor, reflecting a belief in a dignified afterlife. The later Tlafamtsang poetically denotes the departure of the soul, emphasizing the metaphysical transition from the physical realm to the spiritual. Ms. Lalrem-Seam posits that within the context of a tribal society such as that of the Mars, the boundaries between religious, social, political spheres are not distinctly defined. This suggests that within Mar community, the domains of religion, social organization, and political structures are not viewed as separate or autonomous spheres, but rather function as an integrated whole. Before the arrival of Christianity, the Mar community adhered to animistic beliefs. They believed that the world was inhabited by spirits, both benevolent and malevolent, and that nature itself was alive with spiritual presence. Elements of natural environments, such as large trunks, prominent rock formations, and craters like pythons, were traditionally regarded as being inhabited or possessed by spirits. Sacrificial offerings known as Inpoina were conducted by the Timpu or shamans to appease malevolent spirits, which were believed to be the cause of misfortunes such as illness, death, and natural calamities. Additionally, ancestral spirits were venerated through a ritual practice called Pipu Raubik, in which the souls of deceased forebears were invoked to bless and protect their descendants. The patterns of mortality among the Mars may be broadly classified into 5 distinct categories. One is Hlamzuyati, also known as premature death. Such deaths are subject to specific ritual restrictions. The body is not permitted to remain overnight and is to be interred the same day. Only close family members and intimate friends are allowed to attend. Furthermore, the deceased is not granted burial in the community graveyard. Instead, interment takes place within the household premises, reflecting cultural perception of the dead as incomplete or impure. Second is Ramtati. In such case, the deceased is interred following adult burial practices. If the infant's grandmother is alive, she carries the body to the grave using a cloth cradle across her chest. In the absence of the grandmother, this role is fulfilled by the child's aunt. Third, we have Titra. This refers to a natural death, typically due to old age or illness. Upon death, the body is bathed, laid in a supine position, and as a customary expression of condolence, the kinsmen bring local liquor known as zubel, and an animal is also slaughtered, and specific portions of the meat are distributed to the sisters and female cousins, while the poo or the grandfather is given the chak.
Ma'am, I would request you to sum up your study.
Okay. So the two central concepts of the belief system of the Mar were Mithikhu and Pilral, which together form the axis of the Mar ecastological imagination. Mithikhu, translated as the village of the dead, was conceived as a parallel realm where souls of the deceased resided after death, while Pilral is the Mar equivalent of paradise, and it was the more desirable afterlife destination. Entry was believed to be earned by performing great deeds in life. Such heroic accomplishments include the killing of formidable animals such as elephants, lemurs, hawks, and the venomous snake known as Tulngan. These acts are considered markers of valor, and the persons who achieve such accomplishments are held in high esteem even during their lifetime. And these distinguished persons are regarded as Tangsu and are believed to reside in eternal ease, free from labor. Although certain traditional death practices such as Famzar, Sipei, Lukong, etc. have gradually disappeared over time, several elements of pre-Christian burial practices persisted, albeit in adapted forms, such as burial possessions, Puzu, which is a traditional Mar practice in which a grandfather, as an expression of condolence of his grandchild, offers zu to his relatives. And another is Mithilumeng, which is a long-standing Mar mourning practice that continues to be observed in contemporary times. One of the most notable changes brought about by Christianity, particularly in the context of death, is the replacement of the Thimpu by Christian authorities such as church elders. The spiritual responsibilities once held by the Thimpu were gradually assumed by the Christian leaders who began to officiate funeral practices, lead prayers, and provide theological guidance grounded in biblical doctrines. Thangko is a traditional Mar death-related custom in which a messenger, typically a young man, is sent to inform distant family relatives of a death in the community. The Thangko was expected to convey the message in a calm and measured tone, carefully choosing his words to minimize shock or emotional distress for the recipient. The Christianization of the Mar community brought with it not only new technological paradigms, but also broader...
Ma'am, please try and conclude as you have exceeded the time limit.
Okay. So in conclusion, through missionary activity, the religious transformation of the Mar people brought about a profound shift in their conception of afterlife and their understanding of the spiritual world. Death rituals that once emphasized negotiating with the spirit world were replaced by Christian funerary practices, and traditional death practices such as collection of logs of woods or bamboos and slaughtering of animals were now omitted, and practices such as community involvement, collective labor, Feasting remains central to social life, reflecting enduring cultural values of mutual support, hospitality, and solidarity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diana, for a nice presentation. I have one question. Whatever you read here, it is already known. What is your contribution? What is your research?
So, sir, my research is that analyzing the pre-Christian practices, the Mars adhered to certain animistic beliefs, and their burial practices includes, like I mentioned, collection of woods and bamboos by the young unmarried men, and slaughtering of animals were performed during those times. But after Christianity was introduced, they have omitted all these practices, which leads to reduction of resource consumption. And sir, these are change in micro level practices.
Okay, Diana, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker is Pramod Chandra Bora. Pramod.
Mr. Pramod,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes,
can
sir.
start presenting.
Okay.
I request the presenters to keep their PPTs ready and also be mindful of the time.
Hello.
Yes, sir, the PPT is visible.
Yes. Honorable Chairperson, sir, and respected dignitaries and my dear participants, I am Pramod Chandra Bora, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, BS College, Hauli. My presentation is on plant diversity of Greater Hauli area of Borpata district of Assam. The Hauli is the very important historical place of Assam, and it was the capital of great Kush king Sandi Borua. And from the plant diversity point of view, it is very rich in from the plant diversity. And from the northeastern region, so many works have been carried out regarding the diversity of plant species, out of them seeking. And my main objective of study is that to make a valid document about the different plant species found in Greater Hauli area and identification of plant species of the area. And a materials and method during a field survey work was carried out during 21 and 22 to collect the different plants found in the Hauli area, and the plants were collected during the flowering season, and they are identified with the help of flora of Assam, flora of BTAD, flora of Maharashtra, and plant diversity of Assam. And some economically important plants were herbium were prepared and submitted to the BS College Botany Department for future references. From the study area, it has been observed that different types of important timber yielding, fruit yielding, and medicinal plant species are found in the jungles of Greater Hauli area. From that survey, we collect 103 important plant species, and some of them are herbs, some are shrubs, and others are tree species. Out of that 103 species, they are under 47 families. Out of 47 families, 6 plants are under Lamiaceae, 7 plants under Combretaceae, 5 under Rutaceae, 5 under Araceae, 4 under Euphorbiaceae, 4 under Fabaceae, 4 under Moraceae. Some of the plants are economically very important. From the study, out of 103 plants species, 34 are fruit plants, 41 are timber-yielding plants, and 36 are medicinally important plants. Now, all the plants are enumerated in 3 tabular form. Now, table 1 contains the timber-yielding plants. Out of them, I am not going to discuss about all the plants because due to the shortage of time. And next is these are the timber-yielding plants I have collected from the study area. Next. These are some important medicinal plants which is I have collected from the study area. And these are fruit plants found in that area. And these are some references. And I am very grateful to the local people of the Greater Howley area for their helpful hand during the survey work and for providing information about the local names of the plants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pramod, for your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Just I want to know one thing. What is the main finding of your work?
My findings was, sir, to make a valid documentation regarding the plants. Some of them are become endangered from that locality due to the increase of population and due to the deforestation. I want to just make a record of that important plants. So that
do you think this record is not available right now?
Not this of this area. There was no past records.
Okay. Thank you, Pramod. Thank you, Pramod.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Next speaker is Mrs. Stella Ozioma.
Mrs. Stella, you can start presenting. Please unmute yourself.
All right, thank you. Please, I don't have my PPT available due to logistics challenges. May I go on, please?
Sure, ma'am, go ahead.
All right, thank you for this opportunity. My study is titled The Anthropogenic Stressors and Their Impacts on Asa River Water Quality. When we talk about anthropogenic stressors, we are referring to the human activities such as domestic activities, leakages from industrial effluents into the river, agricultural activities. All of these activities, though good to the local community, the people around are benefiting from it, but it has a direct impact on the river water quality. So why is it important to study anthropogenic activities and their impact on the river water quality? Is because anthropogenic activity causes changes in stream flow regime. And these changes induced by anthropogenic activity in stream flow regime exacerbates the quality of a river water quality. It causes pollution that worsens this situation. Often there is usually a loss of biodiversity. It can cause human health challenges, and in some cases may lead to death. It can cause social security issues and significant economic loss. That's why this study is important. Now, this study was carried out on Asa River. Asa River is located in southwest region of Nigeria, about 56 kilometers long. It connects several states of the country together, and it is used for industrial purpose, domestic activities, agricultural activity. So it's such a major river in the southwest region of Nigeria. It has a dam at the upstream, while other commercial activities and industrial activities takes place downstream of the river. The methodology adopted for this study was an in-situ surveillance of this river to monitor the river water quality for a period of 7 months. It's an ongoing study, and 5 locations were adopted for this study. In the course of the monitoring, I observed that upstream of the river where the dam is located, Some women in the neighborhood goes there to process cassava. Fishing activities takes place at the dam site. Agricultural activities takes place at the dam site, which is the first location. While the 4 other locations downstream of the river, the second one, we have that ritual activities takes place, and the second location beneath the bridge of the river at Asadam Road, Nigeria, in Ilori. Ritual activities takes place. We saw some ritual objects there that imposes a foul smell. In the vicinity of the river, some sacred objects were found floating on the river, and we saw some people actively performing ritual activities and dropping the sacred objects into the flowing river, which has capacity to pollute the water quality because of the chemical compositions of those sacred objects. The decaying animals, decays into the river. It has the potential to pollute the river water. At the third location, we discovered that strong commercial activities takes place there, and the people carrying out these commercial activities often dumps their waste into the river. At that location, the river is surrounded by some other buildings, commercial buildings, domestic buildings within the vicinity of the river at that point. So the domestic waste, the commercial waste is often dumped into the river, and this has a strong capacity to pollute the river. At the fourth location, commercial activities takes place there also, just like the third location. And the fifth also, we have commercial activities, we have domestic buildings, we have other buildings.
Try and conclude.
All right, ma'am. So we have found that from all of this monitoring that took place for these 7 months, seeing the industrial effluents being discharged into the river, the commercial activities, and the waste being dumped into the river, agricultural activities taking place on both banks of the river, along the stretch of the river, and the fertilizer application, which produces waste, fertilizer waste. When it rains, it all flows into the river. All of these, among several other observations, has capacity to pollute the river water quality. So in conclusion, we are concluding that these commercial activities, waste from domestic usage, industrial waste, agricultural waste, floating plastics, and even grazing animals seen beneath the bridges of these rivers all contribute their waste into the Asa River. And these were considered to be the major anthropogenic stressors causing spatial variation and impairment of the river's water quality. In conclusion, we want to say that Asa River is an essential source of water for industrial, agricultural, and residential uses in Kwara State, Nigeria, Ilorin to be precise. The Asa River water quality has declined due to a number of human activities, and it is a major recipient of most anthropogenic activities within its vicinity. Agricultural activities, commercial activities, ritual activities, industrial discharge, and refuse dumps within the vicinity of Asa River were found to be the major anthropogenic stressors that impairs the river water quality. There is therefore a need to develop an integrated water quality stream flow model to
Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Stella. Just, I would like
Yeah.
to know one thing. How you measure river water quality? You are saying that quality improved. How you can say?
Yes, thank you, sir. This study is an integral part of the whole study. This is just one part of the study that is represented here. Having monitored this, we took water samples and took them to the lab to analyze, and we confirmed our findings. So just that the scope of this present conference presentation wouldn't allow me to speak into that other part. But we took water samples for 7 months, took them to the laboratory, analyzed them. About 33 parameters were measured, and the results proved that the river water was polluted. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Next speaker is Dr. Suman Rani. Suman Rani is here.
Dr. Suman Rani, you can unmute. Moving on to the next, Dr. Naseeb Kumar. Sir, if she comes, we'll take her presentation later on.
Okay, okay. Dr. Naseeb is here.
Dr. Naseeb Kumar. Moving on to the next, Dr. Jajbir Singh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, you can start presenting.
Yeah.
Sir, your slide is visible. You can start presenting, sir.
Okay, ma'am. A very good afternoon to chairperson and everyone. Myself, I am Dr. Jasbir Singh. My presentation topic is inner calm, the transformative power of meditation and contemplative practice in the stress reduction. First, that of the introduction, that of the stress is a pervasive modern health challenge and linked to the numerous physical and psychological disorder. And meditation and contemplative practice often a evidence-based non-pharmacological approach to the stress management, and this presentation explored their scientific foundation, mechanism, and the real-world applications. And that is the definition that of the psychologically and physiologically response to perceived threats and demand. That is to understand of the stress. And chronic stress impact of the cardiovascular health, immune function, cognitive performance, and emotional well-being. That also disturbed due to the chronic stress. And the stress-related disorder like of the hypertension, anxiety, depression, and insomnia. And then what is the meditation? Meditation is a family of a self-regulation practices that focus on the attention of the awareness, and different type of the meditation, that of the mindfulness meditation and transcendental meditation, loving kindness meditation, and Zen meditations. And often overlap the with of the contemplative practice like of the prayer and reflective. And these are the introduction of the meditative meditation techniques, that of the different type of the meditation. And these are the common benefit of the meditation that improve of the brain concentration, improve breathing.
Just say your, just a minute. Just say your contribution.
Yes, sir. These are the benefit, also that of the evidence from the research, that of the MDR versus these are that of the effect and accessibility of the mindful-based stress reduction program on the patient with elevated blood pressure or hypertension, or meta-analysis of a randomized control trial. And can the MBSR be a treatment for the elevated BP? Yes, that of the population with people with elevated BP, that is more than 130 to upon 80 mmHg, and intervention that of the MBSR that provide of the active role, that of the control of the, that also use of the 12 random control trial, including of the 872 patient, that outcome, that of the office, that of the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure decreased into the 6.64 mmHg and 2.47 mmHg, and out of the office systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure 24 hours did not have significant decrease, but this is a improved very few study, and MBSR improved of the stress, depression, and anxiety symptom, and only the one trial is of the low risk of the biases and reported of the safety of the data. And the conclusion that of the MBSR can reduce of the office BP stress level and the mood symptom and long-term adequate power and the high quality of the random control trials that outcome of to the office BP are needed. And these are the contemporary and the daily integration of the use start from 5 to 10 minutes of the mindfully daily and use guided meditation application or a community-based program, create contemporary spaces in the workplace, school and hospital, and incorporate breathing and mindful in the stress movement. And these are the case study, and these are the limitation of the and consideration, and these are the main conclusion of the meditation and the contemplative practice of a profound shift from the reactive stress pattern to a mindful international living and scientifically validated tools for enhancing the well-being and holistic approach to sustainable of the mental development. And these are the reference, and thank you.
Okay, Dr. Jaipur, how many volunteers you have taken for your study? What was the number of volunteers?
Actually, sir, that is the meditation and contemplative practice, such as of the mindfulness, deep breathing, and guided visualization, help shift our nervous system from a state of the fight or fight to one of the rest and digest. And by cultivating the practice movement, awareness, and emotional regulation, these practice reduce the cortisol level and improve the resilience and promote a lasting sense of the inner calm. And over time, these rewire to the brain to respond to the stress more mindfully rather than of the reactively, leading to a greater emotional balance and mental clarity. And
my question is,
performance
just
improves.
listen my
Thank you,
question. My question is that how many volunteers you have taken for your study? Or it's hypothetical? Or it's just theoretical? Have you tried on the
Yes, sir.
patients?
Yes, try on the patient, because I am the in the department of the Swasthya and yoga, and mostly patient of the mental disorder or the psychologically disturbance that
So what was their
mainly
number?
affect the meditation and yoga therapy improve itself
My
on the
question
disease
is, what
management
was,
process.
just listen me. My question, what was the number of patient in your study?
Yes, sir. 1 second, sir.
कितने लोगों पे
These are
आपने
the
study
872 participants of the 12 random control study that trial also used.
Yeah, that was my question.
872 patient,
And what was
participants
the age group?
12.
Okay, what was the age group?
That of the age group of mainly 18 to 60 year age.
82.
80 to 60.
18 to
Yes,
60. Okay.
18
And
years
what
to 60. That of the inclusive criteria of the study.
And what was the gender ratio?
Gender
How
ratio,
many
that
male,
is
female?
also 60/40. That of the 60 male and 40 female.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank you,
your
sir.
nice presentation. Next
Thank
speaker is Mr. Abdullahi Ibrahim.
Mr. Ibrahim, you can start presenting. Mr. Ibrahim. So moving on to next, Nivyas.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Yes. So you can start presenting.
Okay. I hope I am audible and you can see my screen also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So actually my studies about designing an integrated framework for AI readiness assessment, enterprise-wide adoption enhancement, and machine learning algorithm selection. So before I go through the slide, the main idea was that everyone is talking about AI is in my organization. We are using it extensively and all, but there is a clear gap that actually, are we actually using AI? Is it in a right way? Is it really matured, and are they utilizing it in a proper manner? So this was the whole reason, and there was a lack of this understanding was there. So as you So these are the main like objective and scope actually. So start with AI readiness across business functions. So do an assessment, is it how ready the organization with regards to the artificial intelligence, then identify which are the key challenges and opportunities or the enablers and barriers in that organization, then use that data to design a unified framework for a better enterprise-wide AI adoption. And then, because I'm doing my PhD in data science, so I don't want to focus on the managerial aspect of it. Need to do some sort of technical component also. So we want to collect the data, do the analysis. I hope you are audible, right? You are. Hello, it's audible, right?
Yeah. Continue, please.
Okay. Yeah, and take this data and we can analyze this data in Excel, Tableau, Power BI, or SPSS. But what I'm doing is that we are trying to do it in a Python-based, machine learning-based code to analyze the data also. And finally, as I want to bring the technical component also, there are a lot of different machine learning the algorithms are there, and which based on the process or the scenarios of the organization, is it a supervised learning or unsupervised learning or reinforced, which is the better approach for the organization, that also been captured in this one. So this is a typical, why we need a, better predictive maintenance, customer segmentation, everything. So that's why we need AI is a very generic thing. Everyone knows it. Some of the barriers or the issues is that some people are not talented or their technical expertise is not enough to properly integrate the AI in their organization, or the data is not properly organized, or it's in different structure, not connected with each other. There is no relationship, one to many or many to many connections is not there. And some staff, some staffs are not ready to have the change actually, and maybe the management is not willing to do, and there is an ethical reason also. Some people, these are the major barriers, and the enablers are a very strong leadership, proper data, the people are trained, and all that are the enablers of the AI also. So basically we take this one and come up with this holistic framework. And as an example, AI readiness, you can do a concept known as AIRI, where you will take all the scenarios like technical, expertise, resource, management support, everything, and then you can identify the organization as like a low readiness, emerging, progressing, advanced, AI-driven. So mostly it may be AI-driven and progressing, and through our enhancement approaches, it can convert it to progressing, advanced, or AI-driven more actually. So in short, basically, this is the yeah. That's it actually. So basically, it will assess the organization, come up with the recommendation, implement that, and also analyze the data, then also suggest which is the best ML algorithm based on the scenario, can be reinforced or can be supervised if there is a proper sampling data is there, the proper key set of input data to output data, then we can say it can be a supervised, and is it
Okay,
which sort of
Nivas.
yeah.
Okay, Nivas.
Thank you.
My question: have you used this AI for which methodology? Have you done work with AI?
Yeah.
What you did? Just tell me about your work.
Basically, I'm a BI person. I work with data in Tableau, Power BI, and everything. So basically, I myself a technical person in that context. So basically, we have a recruitment system where we get the hundreds of data. So we make the what was the job description versus CV comparison we were doing, and come up with a scoring system actually. Scoring system, and if the multiple agencies sending same CV again, then we flag it as a, so there were multiple such scenarios were there, and even the qualification is written so and so, and if the receiver is not getting that also been captured actually.
OFI. What problems you have faced during your work?
basically the thing is that most of the problem is that the willingness to properly provide the data. Sometimes they may saying they are using AI, they are using automation, but at the end of the day, they may have some silo PDF file, Excel file, nothing is connected. There is no proper structure, and the redundancy, like each department is making their own reports and data. So the major challenge or the success of this kind of project is mainly the focus how good the data is available, how data is integrated. And unfortunately, more than AI and everything, how you have to make the platform ready, the data organization structure of the database, data warehouse, data lake is the key thing for any organization for a successful. And then, of course, you need to train the staffs to utilize
Okay, thank you.
data
Thank
automation.
you,
Thank you.
Nivas. Thank you,
Thank you.
Nivas,
Thank
for
you.
your excellent presentation.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. So, as we come to the conclusion of this session, I would like to give a warm thanks to our esteemed chairperson, Professor Dr. Suresh Joshi. Thank you, sir, for coming here and guiding everyone, for the thoughtful observations throughout the sessions, and your presence added an immense value to today's procession. Sir, I would like you to announce the best paper presenters for this session.
Thank you very much. The first prize goes to Nivas PM. Nivas PM. And second prize goes to Dr. Jashbir Singh.
Thank you, sir. Sir, congratulations to the winners. Sir, it would be a great pleasure if you could give us your knowledge and
Yeah,
share your
yeah,
views.
yeah. Thank you very much. Really, this session was very excellent, very good sessions, and we heard various researchers on various issues of on the conference theme. So I believe that our collective ability to navigate complexity, foster holistic development, and advance environmental sustainability hinges on interdisciplinary collaboration, a convergence of insights from climate science, public health, economics, artificial intelligence, and behavioral strategy. Or I think most of the topics were covered in this session, and really I enjoyed this session. And my best wishes, all the best, good luck to everybody. Thank you for inviting me once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to thank all the participants and the attendees for the continuous engagement and the support. And I would like to congratulate the winners of this session. I would request everyone to be connected as we'll be starting the valedictory session soon. We'll be starting that in next 15 to 20 minutes, around 2:10. So we'll take a short break so that everyone can have a breather. Thank you so much, and stay connected on this meeting.
Good evening, everybody. We would like to start the valedictory session. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the conference throughout the process. It was very engaging. I would like to call the co-convener, Dr. Leher Israni, to give the conference reporting.
Am I audible? Am I audible, everyone? A very good afternoon, everyone present here. The International Conference on Navigating City, Fostering Holistic Development and Environmental Sustainability, a multidisciplinary approach to 21st century challenges, was successfully conducted online at Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, in collaboration with the International Council for Education, Research and Training. The event brought together eminent scholars, researchers, practitioners, policymakers, and students from across the globe to deliberate on integrated approaches to address the occurring challenges of the 21st century through sustainability and holistic development. The inaugural session of the international conference commenced with a warm welcome and invocation of thought-provoking ideas that set the tone for collaboration ahead. The event began with the lighting of the ceremonial lamp and a welcome address by Professor Andy Mathur, Honorable President of Vivekananda Global University, who highlight the significance of the multidisciplinary and inclusive approaches to address the growing global challenges of climate change, inequity, and social political complexities. Conference keynote address delivered by Dr. Liz White, Assistant Professor and Academic Assistant Coordinator, Dr. Manisha D. Bhagdoli, Executive Director, Professional of Education, University of Kalabara, Professor Yagapalli, PhD, Faculty of Commerce, Global Tech College, Ohio, USA, Dr. Navneet Kaur, Director and Head Education Division, ICERT. Then special address to the conference delivered by Honorable Guest of Honors and Conference Chair, Professor Dr. Aruna Anchal, Director and Head Research and Publication Division, ICERT, Dean, Department of Education, Baba Matsas Nath University, Rohtak, Haryana. A special address delivered by Chief Guest, Mr. Vinod Singh Yadav, Deputy Secretary, University Grant Commission, New Delhi. It is with great respect and gratitude that I take this moment to sincere thank all our distinguished keynote speakers who have graced this international conference with their presence, wisdom, and vision. Their thought-provoking insights and powerful presentation have truly illuminated the path towards understanding and addressing the complex challenges of our time. Whether it was through reflection on sustainability, development, education, or innovation, your contribution have enriched our collaboration, dialogue, and inspired deeper thought and collaboration. In this conference, total 150 papers were presented by eminent research scholars and academicians. First session chaired by Dr. Prerna Singh Lavania, Assistant Professor, Kanodia PG Mahavidyalaya, Jaipur, coordinated by Tavishi Lime from Vivekananda Global University. Among all paper presenters, Ms. Brindha B secured first position and Mrs. Shailja Kumari secured second position. Second technical session chaired by Dr. Neha Bhartiya, Assistant Professor, Amity University of Liberal Arts, Amity University, Jaipur, coordinated by Bhanupriya Tiwari from Vivekananda Global University. Among all papers, Aditi Bhupendra secured first position and Arshita Ila Mittai secured second position. Third technical session chaired by Professor Dr. Suresh Joshi, former President, Vice Chancellor, Lord University, Alwar, former professor and UGC Emeritus Fellow, University of Rajasthan, coordinated by Tavishi Limai from Vivekananda Global University. Among all paper presenters, Nivas PM secured first position and Dr. Jajbir Singh secured second position. Congratulations to all winners and paper presenters in this international conference. Thank you. Now I would like to hand over the dais to the Ms. Bhumika Badlani, HOD Department for Government Studies, for thank you note. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of the organizing committee of the 2 days international conference, it is my privilege and honor to deliver the vote of thanks as we come to the close of this enriching international conference. Can you mute yourself?
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone present here. I, Bhumika Badlani, feel privileged and honored to deliver the vote of thanks of this 2 days international multidisciplinary conference. So first and foremost, I extend the heartfelt gratitude to Professor N.D. Mathur, the President of Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Dr. Navneet Kaur, Director and Head of the Education Division at ICERT, Professor Aruna Anchal, Director of Research and Publication Division at ICERT. I would like to extend the heartfelt gratitude for gracing the occasion with your presence and for the inspiring address that set the perfect tone for the conference. A sincere thanks to all our keynote speakers, Dr. Liz White, Dr. Manisha Bhagoji, Dr. Evelyn Orji, Professor Kosga Yagaparaj. I would like to thank everyone. Your thoughtful presentations and diverse perspectives have added immense value to our discussions. A thank you to our session chairs, Professor Suresh Joshi, Dr. Neha Bhartiya, Dr. Prerna Singh. Thank you for your scholarly contributions and your disciplined time management and for fostering engaging academic dialogues. We are deeply grateful to our partner and sponsor ICERT, without whose support this event would not have reached this scale and success. To all our presenters, researchers, and participants, your active engagement, your curiosity, and your exchange of ideas have made this conference truly vibrant and meaningful. Thank you for your commitment to knowledge and collaboration. A special thanks to Professor DVS Bhagwanulu, the Pro-President VGU, for the encouragement and constant support in making this vision a reality. Lastly, I thank the entire organizing team, the technical support staff, and all the volunteers and everyone behind the scenes. The tireless efforts over the past weeks and months have made this event seamless and impactful. So now, as we bring this conference to a close, let us carry forward the insights and connections we have made here and continue to work towards academic excellence and global collaboration. Thank you all again. Wishing everyone a continued success.
Thank you. Can we log out now?
Yes, everyone can please log out. Thank you, everyone.